This record contains excerpts from the Cutler Almanac on the Prime Timeline. The year 500, Ministry Era, the birth of the Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama, later known as the Buddha, was born in Lumbini. Due to a genetic abnormality, he became the first Terra, able to travel between timelines, but for no longer than one day at a time. 510, Ministry Era. The Buddha's teachings began. Siddhartha began his teachings on enlightenment, incorporating knowledge from various timelines. His teachings of the multiverse were often misunderstood, leading to the formation of Buddhism across many timelines. 530, Ministry Era. The spread of Buddhism. Buddhism spread across the Indian subcontinent and beyond, in many realities. The idea of reality beyond our reality started to influence philosophical and religious thought in the Prime Timeline. 950 ME. The Terra phenomenon was recognized. The phenomenon of Terras was documented. Initial attempts to study and understand Terras began, but this led to fear and suspicion amongst the general population. 1000 Ministry Era. The first Terra enslavements. Terras, viewed as oddities and threats, are increasingly enslaved and imprisoned. Societies built prison cubicles to trap returning Terras that could only return to a single location in the Prime Timeline. 1020 Ministry Era. Genetic engineering advances. Initial attempts at genetic engineering to prevent Terras from dissipating into a fine grey mist are made. These attempts are often based on incomplete knowledge and resulted in many failures. 1040 Ministry Era. The Incan invasion of the Roman Empire. The Incas, using airship technology, clearly borrowed from another timeline, invade and conquer the Roman Empire. They establish a top-down socialist structure, merging Incan and Roman customs. 1055 Ministry Era. The Incan-Roman Republic established. The new republic brought over Incan ideas, building massive communal warehouses across the European continent. This led to a culture focused on collective well-being rather than individual success. 1200 Ministry Era. The Steam Technological Revolution. The world saw a steampunk revolution. Airships, coal-fired steam-powered machines, and retro-futuristic architecture became prevalent. This led to significant technological and social changes across the continents. 1264 Ministry Era. Timbuktu becomes the centre of an industrial renaissance. Driven by steam-powered machines and advanced metallurgy, scholars from across the world flock to Timbuktu to study its innovative technologies and vast libraries of information taken from other timelines. This era sees Timbuktu transform into a bustling metropolis, influencing scientific and technological advancements worldwide for generations. 1564 Ministry Era. The Zombie Plague. A catastrophic zombie plague originating from failed genetic experiments devastates Australasia, leading to the complete loss of Australia and a great fear of terrors worldwide. 1570 Ministry Era. Tightened terror regulations. Nations prioritize controlling terrors. Laws and tracking technologies are developed to monitor terror activities and prevent further genetic mishaps. 1800 Ministry Era. The Great Emancipation War begins. Terrors rebel against their enslavers, using advanced technologies and insights from other timelines. This war leads to a significant shift in global power structures. 1806 Ministry Era. The foundation of the Ministry of Timelines. In response to escalating conflicts and misuse of Terra knowledge, the Ministry of Timelines is established by the new Terra power structures to regulate and study all Terra activities. This ministry is created by Terras for Terras. 1812 Ministry Era. End of the Great Emancipation War. The Ministry of Timelines emerges victorious, establishing itself as the primary global authority. Terras gain more rights, and the ministry begins cataloguing the multiverse. 1845 Ministry Era. Multiverse commerce established. The ministry starts importing goods and technologies from other timelines, leading to massive economic changes. Local innovation declines as reliance on multiversal imports increases. 1866 Ministry Era. The Polynesian astronauts. Polynesian explorers, mastering nuclear-powered space travel, establish a colony on the moon. They build lunar settlements using a unique blend of Polynesian architecture and moon rock. The lunar colony becomes a hub for multiverse exploration and research, attracting scientists and adventurers from across the world. 1899 Ministry Era. Discovery of Kaiju. Kaiju are accidentally brought through a tear. These giant creatures wreak havoc, prompting the development of mega war forms to combat them. 1901 Ministry Era. The Battle of Hong Kong. 3 gigantic kaiju attack Hong Kong. They are defeated by 2 mega war forms, marking a significant victory against these monstrous threats. 1910 Ministry Era. Genetic engineering perfected. The ministry successfully perfects genetic engineering to prevent Terras from dissipating, stabilizing their presence permanently in other timelines. 1923 Ministry Era. The Cultural Renaissance. A renaissance of culture and arts flourishes as societies benefit from diverse influences across the multiverse. A steampunk aesthetic continues to dominate. 1929 Ministry Era. Economic decline. Economic disparity grows as local industries collapse under the pressure of multiverse imports. The ministry's control over commerce tightens. 1939 Ministry Era. The Timeline Assassins. A secret sect of the ministry becomes obsessed with assassinating an Austrian painter across the multiverse. They are quickly shut down, but not before succeeding in 47 separate timelines. 1941 Ministry Era. Political Reformation. Reforms within the ministry aim to address economic and social issues. New policies are implemented to redistribute the vast wealth of the ministry and stabilize society. 1945 Ministry Era. Rise of the anti-ministry movements. Dissatisfaction with the ministry's tight control on the world leads to the rise of anti-ministry movements. Protests and minor uprisings occur worldwide. 1950 Ministry Era. Technological stagnation. Local innovation stagnates entirely. The ministry focuses on maintaining order and leveraging multiverse knowledge rather than fostering new inventions. 1963 Ministry Era. The Kaiju Crisis. Another wave of Terra Kaiju attacks occur, leading to battles in New York, Tokyo, and London. The ministry deploys mega warforms to successfully defend these cities. 1999 Ministry Era. Multiverse research expansion. The ministry expands its research efforts, discovering new timelines and technologies. This expansion further solidifies its dominance of the world. 2000 Ministry Era. Reset the clock. The clocks were reset. The Ministry Era was established. 2030 Ministry Era. Global standardization. Societies around the world adopt standardized technologies and policies dictated by the ministry. Cultural homogenization worldwide begins to occur. 2031 Ministry Era. The era of the mega war forms. Mega Warforms become a symbol of the Ministry's power on Earth. These giant robots are used not only against kaiju, but also to maintain order and showcase the awesome technological prowess of the Ministry. 2050 Ministry Era. The Great Plague. A new viral plague emerges, leading to a global health crisis. Millions die, but then the Ministry utilizes multiverse knowledge to develop a cure, reinforcing its indispensability. 2055. Ministry Centralization. The Ministry centralizes its operations in a massive complex in Alexandria, becoming the epicenter of global governance and all research and economics on the planet. 2082. Societal Stratification. Society becomes increasingly stratified, with a clear divide between the elite and the general populace. Terrors still face some discrimination from the populace despite their crucial role. However, as the Ministry is entirely comprised of Terrors, they do hold all the power. 2103. The Last Economic Collapse. Over-reliance on multiverse imports leads to an economic collapse. The Ministry implements drastic measures to stabilize the global economy. This collapse eliminates the last governments on the planet, other than, of course, the Ministry. 2111. Reformation movements. Calls for reform within the Ministry gain traction. Efforts to decentralize power and allow non-terrors into positions of power begin to take shape. 2130. The New Enlightenment. A new wave of enlightenment spreads as people seek to balance multiverse knowledge with local creativity. The arts and sciences experience a revival. 2160. Inter-timeline alliances. The Ministry forms very loose alliances with governments in other timelines, creating a complex web of inter-timeline diplomacy and trade. 2150. The Last Kaiju War. A large-scale kaiju invasion leads to a full-scale war across the Earth. The Ministry deploys all of its resources to the kaiju timeline, including an army of mega warforms, to defend and finally eliminate this great threat. 2199. The Ecclesiaburg vs Pratum election. A very close election down to a single vote. Victor Ecclesiaburg beat Clemens Pratum, and this led to the formation of a new council. This is just a small footnote, nothing to see here. 2200 Ministry Era. The world is now deeply integrated with multiverse knowledge and technologies. The Ministry is the central authority, but movements for reform and decentralization continue to grow. The Prime Timeline is characterized by a blend of advanced technology, cultural homogenization, and ongoing struggles for political and economic balance, much like the rest of the multiverse. Please refer to the next chapter for further excerpts from the Cutler Almanac on the Prime Timeline.